What's up mga ka-Johnny? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Again, this is Sir Raubensun and in this video we are going to talk about infinite limits. But before I begin my discussion in this video, do not forget to click the subscribe button and give me a thumbs up if my video helps you. In this video, let's solve lots of examples involving infinite limit. For example, number 1, I have here the limitation of 5x squared over 16 minus x squared as x approaches to 4 positive. Again and again, when I say 4 positive, we've observed that there is a positive sign at the top of your number. It means to the right of positive. So let's solve this one. Let's follow the simple rules that I presented to you in my previous video. For step number 1, you have to get your numerator. You have to get your numerator in this problem. What is my numerator? My numerator is 5x squared. That is step number 1. For step number 2, you have to identify where your x approaches to. My x approaches to positive 4 to the right of positive 4. And for step number 2, you have to disregard the sign at the top of your number. What is needed there is where your x approaches to. My x approaches to positive 4. Again and again, disregard the sign at the top of your number. That is step number 2. For step number 3, you have to substitute your step number 2 for your step number 1. For my step number 2, I consider x is equal to 4 because my x approaches to positive 4. And that value of x that is needed to be substituted to your step number 1, which is 5x squared. It will become 5, 4, and squared. So it will become 5 times 16. And 5 times 16 is equal to 80. So meaning, this is now your numerator. Again and again, how did I get 80? I substituted my step number 2 in step number 1. So therefore, after your 3 simple steps, that 80 will become your numerator this time. Okay, that is step 1, step 2, and step 3. After getting your first 3 steps, you proceed now to step number 4. What is step number 4? You go back here where your x approaches to. Meaning, you have to consider the numbers, the sign at the top of your number. As you can observe, in this side, my x approaches to 4 positive. And that positive sign at the top of your number indicates that that goes to the right of positive 4. Let's go back to the number line. Number line is, this is your number line. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. Since that is positive 4, you have to consider numbers at the right of positive 4. What is numbers to the right of positive 4? Those are 5, 6, 7, and so on and so forth. What I told you in my previous video, you have to at least get at least 3 numbers to consider for step number 4. Give me numbers that can be found to the right of positive 4. Those are 5, 6, and 7. Again and again, consider only at least 3 number for step number 4. So we are not done yet. We have to proceed to step number 5. What is step number 5? For step number 5, you have to get your denominator. Your denominator here is 16 minus x squared. You have to get that one. Again, for step number 5, you have to get your denominator. My denominator is 16 minus x squared. And after getting your denominator, since in step 4, you have chosen 3 numbers to the right of positive 4. What are you going to do is to substitute these 3 numbers in your step number 5 or in your denominator. So it will become 16 minus, that is 16 minus x squared, 16 minus x squared, 16 minus x squared. What are you going to do? You have to substitute that one here in all x's. It will become 16 minus 25. This is 16 minus 36 and 16 minus 49. It will become negative 9. This is negative 10. And this is 1. This is negative 33. As you can observe, all your numbers are all negative, meaning as you proceed to larger number, larger than 5, 6, and 7, that is obviously your number will become negative. So as you can observe, since my result here are all not negative, therefore, what am I going to put in my denominator? I will going to put there negative infinite. Again, where did I get my negative infinite? From the result where my numbers for step number 2 substituted in step number 5. Since all numbers are negative, therefore I put in negative. Where did I get 80? 80 is from the 3 simple steps. Am I clear to you? That's great, but I'm not done yet in solving this one, because after that one, you have to simplify that one. You have to divide the sign of your number. So what is the sign for numerator? That is positive. What is the sign for your denominator? That is negative. Positive divided with negative, that is negative. Very good. So meaning that is negative infinite. In short, the limit of this number, or in this function, 5x squared over 6. The limit of this function, as you divide positive divided by negative, that is negative infinite. Therefore, the limit of this function, 5x squared all over x, 16, minus x squared, as your x approaches to the right of positive 4, that is negative infinite. Again and again, you have to follow this simple step in order to solve infinite limits. So meaning, am I clear to everyone? That's great. See you in my next example. So our second example, still limit at infinite limit. So I have here an example. The limitation of the quantity of 2 over x minus 3 over x squared as x approaches to the right of 0. Why did I say to the right of 0? Because you have a positive sign at the top of 0. Positive means to the right of 0. How are we going to solve this kind of problem, considering that I have 2 fractions? You cannot substitute 0 directly. What are you going to do is to combine these 2 fractions as 1. You cannot apply directly the rules, the five steps that I presented to you. You have to combine these fractions as 1. How are we going to do that one? We have to find the LCD first. So it will become the limitation of, now I'm going to change my marker. Okay, so what we're going to do is to combine this fraction. It will become the limitation of x approaches to 0 positive. Okay, so you have to find the LCD. What is the LCD now? So the LCD here is x squared. Why did I say x squared? Because x squared is divisible by x and x squared. So x squared divided by x, that is x. X times 2, that is 2x. That's good. So you copy minus sign. X squared divided by x squared, that is 1. 1 times 3, that is 3. Okay, so as you can observe, my 2 fraction now is written as 1. So after that 1, after you combine your fraction as 1, you have to apply the 5 steps that I presented to you in my previous example. So same thing. What is my step 1? My step 1 here, I have to identify, or I have to get my numerator. This is now my new form. So meaning, I need to get my numerator from this form. What is my numerator? My numerator is that 2x minus 3. So that is step number 1. For step number 2, meaning you have to get where your x approaches to, disregarding the sign at the top of the number. So meaning my x approaches here to 0. Okay, so afterwards, I have to substitute where my x approaches to in my step number 1. Since in step number 2, my x approaches to 0, I have to substitute it here. It will become 2 times 0 minus 3, and that is negative 3. Okay, so now, since I am done with my first 3 steps, I have to write it here as like this. So meaning, that is negative 3, so that is considered to be my numerator, negative 3. So that is step 1, 2, and 3. And for step number 2, I have to identify where my x approaches to. In my example, my x approaches to 0 to the right. So meaning I have to identify numbers to the right of 0. So meaning give me at least 3 numbers to the right of 0, or they can be found to the right of 0. Those are 1, 2, and 3. At least 3. You can go more than 3 for as long as you can. For your convenience, just choose 3 because 3 is enough to answer your questions. Okay, that is step number 4. For step number 5, what are you going to do again? You have to get your denominator. What is your denominator? Your denominator is x squared. After that one, you have to substitute this one in each term that you chose for step number 4. So it will become x squared, and x squared. That is 1, 4, and 9. Obviously, all the signs are positive for step number 5. Therefore, it approaches to where? It approaches to positive infinite. Again and again, once your number here are all positive, meaning automatically that is positive infinite. Once your result are negative, automatically that is negative infinite. So meaning, where would I put this one? I'm going to put a 1 in my denominator. Okay? Again, in this result, I have negative 3 derived from my first 3 steps, and from my denominator, I have positive infinite derived from my 4th and 5th steps. So meaning, after that one, I have to divide the sign. What is my sign for numerator? That is negative. What is the sign for denominator? That is positive. Negative divided by positive, that is very good. That is negative infinite. In short, the limit of this function is negative infinite. Again and again, not at all times that your problem is written as 1. You have to combine the terms, combine the two fractions, and written as 1. What is your new form should be considered your numerator and denominator. After you combine the terms, you have to follow 5 simple steps again and again. Step number 1, get your numerator. Step number 2, get where your x approaches to, disregarding the number, the sign at the top of the number. Step number 4, you have to substitute step number 2 to step number 1. Step number 4, you have to find at least 3 numbers where your x approaches to the right and to the left. And step number 5, you have to get your denominator and substitute your chosen number in step number 4. And afterward, you divide the sign, and there you have it. You have a negative and positive infinite. Just a tip for you, whenever you are talking about infinite limit, there are 2 possible answers. First is positive infinite and negative infinite. Other than that, there's none. Okay, again, positive and negative infinite. This is example number 2. And that ends my video for today. So before I end this video, do not forget to click the subscribe button and give me a thumbs up if my video helps you. Okay, see you in my next video. Bye-bye.